So how do you get companies to think big when the goals that we have to achieve as a society are so massive? Certainly there is a role for the outside stakeholders and expectations on the firm, the capital markets, the investors, to push and to create that enabling context. I think about, for example, CA100, which is a coalition of investors that have identified the 100 most greenhouse gas emitting companies in the world and organize shareholder engagement campaigns to drive those companies to have transparency and aggressive strategies for decarbonization on clear timelines. So that's one piece of the puzzle, is kind of this enabling context from the capital markets. The second, of course, is leadership. Having a Lee Scott at Walmart or a Paul Pullman at Unilever who is willing to stand up and say, this is part of my legacy, this is part of our definition of who we are, is that we're going to try to move seriously into sustainability, and we're going to try to do it in ways that are aligned with our corporate purpose. Walmart, about being as efficient as we possibly can with resources. That kind of cost-cutting efficiency was always a great strength for Walmart. And being able to align their sustainability efforts with that was what supercharged that effort. Similarly, at Unilever, you had this idea of vitality. You had this idea of a sustainable living plan, that we make products that help people live well, and we're going to use our company's power in global supply chains to try to drive sustainability. So that CEO, C-suite level leadership is certainly an important ingredient. And then I think the broader education and engagement of everyone in the firm to understand the magnitude of these issues is really essential. For example, we have developed at MIT Sloan a tool called En-ROADS. It's an interactive simulation tool to explore climate scenarios, to explore climate actions, to explore just how powerfully and quickly we have to move to avoid the worst consequences of climate change. That is a learning experience that people can have around that tool. And so we've seen situations where people have brought that into the organization, engaged 40, 50, 100, 500 people at a time to really build a shared language, a shared understanding of why we're taking on these big issues. And then that results in a kind of bubbling up of energy and ideas and action that people want to take inside the organization. So from the capital markets to the C-suite to that organizational engagement education piece, those are all essential kind of elements of the picture.